Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the Dabble and Babble podcast. And while you normally expect me to be alone again, probably sad again, I'm not actually. You wanna know why? Because I have company this time again, and it's someone you should already not know because our other podcast isn't listened to very a lot. It's Luke from something.
Hi.
That's
all. That's all. I have to say.
That's your impression.
Yeah.
Off riding the wave of my massive endorsement from the Toy Lovers 48. That's how they introduced to my 2 new subscribers.
Yeah. Did they shout you out on their channel?
Yeah, they shouted me out in beginning of the one of the most recent video, which was cool.
Nice. Did you get any viewers from that?
Did
you get any traction?
I got 3 new comments. I got 2 new subscribers.
Weird.
Dude, it's like at this point I'm basically God. Step away, Paul brothers.
Who are the Paul? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know the Paul brothers, dude?
No, I know.
You look like them right now. Oh yeah, by the way, Luke walked here up a hill in the rain, in the hard rain, and I had to give him new clothing so that way he wouldn't die of hypothermia. And with his long flowing locks, it now looks like he got a blow dryer from an airline turbine. Airline turbine? Yeah, air turbine.
My mom is working, so I just walked when I got home from school. So
I fully expected you to just not hey, dude, I would walk, but it's pouring outside. I totally expected you to do that, but you didn't.
Well, no, I was already halfway when it started pouring. I didn't want to turn back.
Oh, so did you take shelter?
For a minute, but it just got worse when I was in shelter.
So you decided to not wait at all. You just said, okay, screw it.
I mean, it's still
raining, I think.
I have limited time, so.
Limited time?
As in I have 3 hours.
Oh, I mean, that should probably be enough. My father can always drive you home after we get both these. We'll be recording 2 podcasts today. This one, Dabble and Babble, and another one on our other channel. I say our channel, BLT, the Brian and Luke Talk.
Mm-hmm. This one is more laid back. The other one's a lot of screeching, a lot of
This one is
a lot of flailing.
This one has us actually talking about a topic that I came up with, and the other one is just us milling about in front of a mic for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
It is the equivalent of herpes blood. It's like that. Is herpes blood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So today's topic, as my famous topic, my favorite, because you watch all my podcasts, of course, you know that I always introduce the topic by saying, "Here's the topic." You would know that.
I do, because I watched 2. I remember you saying.
Of my 5.
There's not 5. There's 3.
There's 5.
I thought you had 2 by yourself, and then 1 with the twins.
No, I have 5 now.
Okay. So I'm gonna go home. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch.
Fucking unprofessional.
I'm gonna listen to.
Unprofessional bitch.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, today's topic is young artistry, because we were both young artists on the cusp of something great in the best time of our lives. And I've already discussed a multitude of ways of what I do in the podcast, mostly writing and this, of course. But what do you do, Luke? What would you say is your creative outlet? I know it, but the audience doesn't. So would you like to explain yourself from the eye of an artist?
I write. I do a lot of things I don't want to talk about, but.
Why do you not want to talk about anything?
I make visual arts. I make I started messing around with engineering, sound engineering.
Oh, okay.
Design, graphic design. I don't know. I just do a lot of stuff.
You just have your hand on a lot of baskets.
Yeah.
Well, I also know that from your social media that you also do photography.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have not digital photography, actual photography. You have to go off and develop film.
Yeah.
What led you to that? Because I don't even know. What led you to doing that?
Well, really, a good friend of mine takes photos, and one day we were at the thrift store just looking for random things, and then they had a camera, and he was like, "You should buy this." I was like, okay.
How much was it?
Like $3.
$3?
Yeah, I mean, it's from the thrift store. We were just going for like thrifty finds, and we found a and I did, and then that's kind of where it started.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that day I started taking
Now,
photos.
did you like study anything of photography at all, or like was it just like now I have it, I gotta do it?
I started shooting like the day of,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, once I look for inspiration, but mostly it's just from self-motivation and like just, oh, this would look good, like I'm out in public.
Yeah, you like do like 'cause on the internet now there's like a lot of like intro like how to do photography or like how to do writing and whatnot. Do you watch any of that or no?
I don't think it's necessary. I think if you're truly like passionate and that you just have like a lot of creative energy, you can just, I mean, you could use those for inspiration, but I don't think they're necessary just because you kind of, for people to enjoy your work, you kind of, nowadays you need to have more originality and style. Not just to be good, but just to
Get noticed.
have just your own unique style, you know? Like, let's say, instead of taking, you know, in focus photos, everything's out of focus and like rotated like 40 degrees. I don't know. You know, like
Yeah, it's like something you
and unique to yourself.
you like so instead of like going to like these videos and like saying like I should probably do it this way, or like trying to see like, oh, these are like the rules of photography. You think like if you're passionate about like a certain thing like writing, you find your own way. You like brute face your way through it and like it's basically relearning what this thing is for yourself.
Yeah.
And like just to send out, you should develop like what you think is good before you go off like learning tooltips and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
did you like I because with photography, I assume like with physical photography is like a lot different, you know. But like still, it's probably like things like focus, shutter speed, like lighting and whatnot. And you're just like not concerned with any of it. You're just like, hey, this looks good. Let me try to figure it out.
Well, it was me that was interested in it, so I just became self-taught. You know.
You self-taught yourself.
It's pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they seem nice, some of the pieces at least, from what I've seen. I don't know if you can like have a camera roll send me the photos.
I have a lot.
Well, don't.
You see them on Snapchat or you see them on my?
I see them probably on Snapchat, but
See, I have an Instagram page where I put them all.
so I'll link that in the description so you can see. But yeah, so yeah, they are pretty good. I mean, we're looking at some right now, and it's pretty nice. I mean, it's better than what I can do for sure. I mean, there's like clear subject. They like have actual filters that like actually match up, and like it's just
They're not really edited either.
it's just like all pure. It's like it's really cool. Like this is something I find like I tend to romanticize about like creative thought. If this audience would know, that it's just like for me at least. When I was recently, I mentioned this on the other podcast how my day was a creative writing. Like we have like a little group watch over your own stuff.
Yeah.
And people said how my thing, because I was so like descriptive with the visual details,
Mm-hmm.
and like it was my writing was like so clear when it came to like action and whatnot, that people said, you should just make this a script. And I told them, I believe that like I just don't know what makes up a book. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just trying to figure that out for myself. And I guess I'm kind of like romanticizing the fact that like I want to like define for myself what is a book. Not just by myself, getting other people's opinions, but I'm slowly figuring out like what is a book and what is not, something a screenplay or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird thinking about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it's off topic, but just anything that comes out of your brain, you could put into your art or your, just anything. I don't know, whatever. But
You're trying to say like there's no like limit to what you can put inside of like whatever you want to do it.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
That seems to be a common message. Rolling into something like that on inspirations. I know you and I are. Well, I recently got into, but you've been a long time fan of like Brockhampton, and that seems to be like a big message of theirs.
Yeah, they're them especially. Their I guess unofficial ringleader, Kevin Abstract. They've been big, huge influences on me creatively and, motivationally. I mean, they just, I don't know, everything they do just seems to click, and, everybody, I don't know. And I'm very inspired by the process too, because a lot of their work has just been in the guy's room, just like all of the production and the mixing and the engineering and all of the three albums in a year. It's crazy, yeah.
Speaking, going back to the Brockhampton for me, before I listened to like their song Boogie, which is a great song, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, I gotta research this group because they seem interesting. And what I saw, it's like they're for people who don't know, they're like a boy band, but like definitely not the boy band you're thinking of. Like they are like so like they have no every member seems to be put out something new. Like there's no defined style of theirs. They're all a group that happens to make music that sound like completely different from each other that you wouldn't think is from the same group. Like my favorite member, Joba, one of his like their most like famous songs from like that first album. Like he was like just yelling like "F you" and like super grunge and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then on other songs, he sings like a ballad that's like super soft and whatnot. And like and like other songs like he's like manic and like on Boogie himself like breaknecks I'm the chiropractor. Like it's super like crazy and like it's amazing like the range of that.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like the entire MO of just like not being defined at all. I find that also very inspirational. Like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think he's the most versatile in the group. He sings, and he raps, I guess, and then on all the singles they've come out with recently, he's been like he hasn't been singing. I mean, I guess harmonizing with the other vocalists, but
he's more rapping.
Yeah, I mean they're releasing a new record. This Friday. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what he does on that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be checking that out.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, want to look them up. They're like an album trilogy, Saturation trilogy. Highly recommend it. It's not at all conventional, not at what you expect it's gonna be, but it's great. You just unplugged my fucking. Luke has been for the like past 15 minutes just fucking around in my room and like wrapping his toes in my wires on my ground. And like just unplugging my phone from its outlet. That cable's nearly broken. You're not making it any better.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Luke. Oh my god.
I'm getting the noise of like a text notification, but
it's probably my phone vibrating because again the cable's terrible.
Yeah, it's probably your phone.
Jesus Christ, Luke. Oh my god. Anyways. The inspirations and whatnot. Personally, I'm inspired. Like that seems because you have so many hands and like apparently so many things that you don't want to talk about. So important.
Oh yeah, we'll just go through the list of our other.
Well, I personally like I mentioned before. Buzz Keaton is a big inspiration of mine because I'm super into like physical comedy and whatnot, but like his way of like constructing story. On like a grand scale, like his stories were super simple, but like I think one of his best story pieces is the boxer one. He has that piece, and that was like great. And he tells stories so effortlessly, without many words, and that inspires me as a writer. Like it's amazing how he does that. Another thing is like that is like for me is like Quarter Digital, but mostly because of the fact that like they worked themselves up from nothing, and like just. In that California, just working, I don't know, just making videos like through like pure sheer will of a vision that they have, being digital and like special effects and whatnot. And I find something like that like super inspirational. What about you, Luke? Any YouTube channels you think you aspire from?
YouTube, I don't know about. When I was like, let's say like 2015. I was like a freshman, I think. But I really was into the whole like Filthy Frank scene.
Oh right, yeah, great, gold Filthy Frank.
And he was, I liked how like he was just the most raunchy channel on YouTube, and he was just his character was so like horribly offensive, and then like you go to, the man behind the persona. He's making these like
Soft,
very soft, nice tunes.
just romantic.
Yeah.
Always about dealing about like broken hearts and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's weird, like Filthy Frank. I think I draw a little inspiration from him because he's just so crazy, and like I have a naturally manic personality.
Also, his sense of humor really inspired my 13-year-old self.
Yeah,
So.
I think I was always more captivated by his like just like ability to like immerse themselves in like different characters and like just take like internet memedom to a whole new level. Like he's the gatekeeper of internet memes.
Mm-hmm.
He created the Harlem Shake.
Yeah.
He did that. This guy, like the guy who was just like, just says yes in a purple one piece suit is like amazing. And how he just generated so much, and it eventually just got bigger. Like and his last few videos, like super budget, like drones.
Well, I think he's on a label now, so he just gets.
Yeah, but now doesn't do anything anymore because we just didn't have fun with it anymore. I guess.
Yeah.
Which I totally respect from the guy. Like to walk away from that and just like saying like
being like a huge channel on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like so much influence, so many people to like draw on.
Mm-hmm.
Like with his last wedding cake, like discussing cake video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he drew on so many people who just knew who he was and like were more than happy to help. It's like it was
because he is who he is.
Yeah, it's just super big, and just leave that. So I find that incredible. Cause you just didn't feel like it. He was gonna produce something like not legitimate, but like actually like real like music. Like so.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
I guess I phrased that wrong. Let me backtrack. He left something he always wanted to do. Like like this internet meme culture like was fun. Like he liked making music like that. He liked making videos like that.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually he just stopped. I think like I said, he just got bored of it. And he wanted to like do something else, like with music, and like it was really interesting to see that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, do you another inspiration of mine, I guess, would be do you know Tyler, the Creator?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but him, just because he's so unafraid to be himself,
especially now.
And I don't think he's ever like been afraid of just like switching it up every record and not appealing to his weird fan base, who want the same thing every single record, and he's been so like the most recent Scumfuck Flower Boy, and then the one before that, which was kind of like an experimental hip hop album, and and people, but like I said, just whatever I just said, I kind of.
Well, for Tyler the Creator, I also like am very interested to see like way artists, especially musical artists who evolve. Like Tyler the Creator was like super edgy, like there's no doubt, like edgy, in your face, saying like every F of it under the sun. And like with the Flower Boy, he like it. Like, he shows, like, how, like, he was actually, first of all, gay the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
He definitely has, like, character development.
Yeah, like, he matured as a human being.
Yeah.
And, like, he went away from that, and he showed, like, a completely different side of himself. I didn't listen to the full album, but what I've heard is, like, he's very soft, His flow is still there, for sure. It's just, his beats, and, like, it's just, his all creation is just still there. It's still Tyler, but it's in a completely new light.
Yeah.
Another version of that for me, especially, this is like my favorite band of all time. It's Cage the Elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And how from that first album it was very grunge rock, very garage. It was like raw. It was like pure like teenage angst embodied. The album after that was like Thank You Happy Birthday, which was this super weird album. Like it was again like edgy and like not edgy in the way like like just saying just saying bad words, but like and like just weird violence and like just like weird sounds. It was very experimental. But after that, like there was Melophobia.
Yeah.
And it was super more soft and like toned down from what there usually was. But there was still like, if you look back, there are songs like that. Like there were songs on the first album, I believe. back against the wall, and like on other ones, on Thank You Happy Birthday, there's like, I believe it was called Golden Brown, or like Rubber Ball, where like they're super soft and like soulful, and then like Melphobia was like embrace of that, where like it was a perfect in between like the rock background that they had and then like the soft version, and then the latest album, Tell Me I'm Pretty, is like completely like is like back to like their like country roots in some songs.
Yeah.
And like in other parts are just like super soft and like wavy, and like their vocals were like super good. They've always been great, but like their just sound in general and the feeling they give off was just completely evolved. And like listening to their like albums, like from beginning to end in chronological order, is super interesting. You see how like they always held that same sound, but they evolved it in so many different ways.
Yeah, I mean that goes back to not being afraid to get experimental with your music and
Yeah, just maturing as your ideas grow and whatnot.
Yeah.
I can tell from like my personal thing what I wanted from my book, Definition of Family. I don't think I've ever said the title, but my mob story. When I wanted before in like in 8th grade, like what I wanted to do, like just super simple and like just not. I had like no thought to it. I was just gonna like write it as this, and I did do that. I wrote it for 60 pages of nonsense.
Yeah.
And then now, just like not doing anything with it, but like I tried to rewrite it and I didn't. But like now that I've gotten at this point in actually writing other things and like going through creative writing class and just having thoughts as a human being, I realize there's so much I can do with that idea of a modern day mob and like ideas. Like at first when I thought of like getting technically getting serious with my book, I thought of like, oh, I got like all these like it got to be like a metaphor for like society now. Like I'm gonna do like everything's on screens now, things like that. And then I realized like I don't want to do that because I'm not that person to like try to preach like with forced metaphors. I have like similes, but that makes sense to me and me only. Mm-hmm. And what I realized after writing it and like just thinking about it, like I have characters. This is gonna be a character-driven story with like high concept in the background, but it's really about characters. And like I just need to focus on that. Mm-hmm. Like try not to give any message I would. I have fully thought out these characters. And I've placed them in a world. Why would I force anything into things I've already established? I should just see where this takes me. Again, like back to where I was, first writing it, but like I know like rules of these guidelines are. Like I know like the tracks these characters I want them to go. I'm basically gonna figure it out as I go, but I actually have like an overarching idea for the whole story of Definition of Family. Mm-hmm. So like it's weird to think about that. But you was different because you like say you want like design and whatnot, like just very visual things. Like
yeah,
I know like your father was an artist and like he has some. In your living room, you have a pretty abstract painting.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like how does that translate with you? Like
it gives me, motivation. It gives me motivation because both of my parents wanted to take creative routes in life and never got the chance to because they were just so worried about like what other people were doing and having children, and it just makes me like not want to do that and like pursue like my life goals instead of settle down so early like my parents did.
So I didn't really know that. Both your parents were like super creative, right? Like I know your father was a painter. What was your mother?
My mom was a writer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So like you see that and you have the same inspirations and like you look at them and be like, I'm not gonna be like that. Like I'm gonna actually explore what I have. Mm-hmm. That's weird because I have like an opposite problem. My mother, not problem, but like my mother and father come from very immigrants.
Yeah.
The hard work and like my dad worked. My age, he probably would have been working for like 8 years. He's probably working since he was 10.
Yeah.
Just. In field work and whatnot. My mother, always like, study, or, chasing that dollar, as, the rappers say.
you know Joe Pesci?
Yeah.
He's like a rap song.
He has
a rap album.
Joe Pesci has a rap.
Yeah, he does. It's pretty funny. He has like it may be an album or just a single, but it's a little ridiculous.
That sounds terrible.
It's really funny.
Let's listen to that before the BLT podcast and talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah. Also, yeah. So like, my parents, I have like no creative, like inspiration at home. Mm-hmm. Like my father does landscape work. My mother works in a plastic factory. Like, and like they never like told me things, like introduced me, like they try to get me into Boy Scouts or like sports and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was never anything about the arts. And I don't really think they understand the arts. Like it's not like they don't understand like like my idea of writing and whatnot, or like if I was an artist, they want to understand drawing because they don't really do that. Like I don't blame them for it. I don't expect them to learn it. So like it was weird to it's basically all on me. I have no like person to point to besides dead guys.
What about your brother?
My brother doesn't. My brother is a sports freak.
Oh.
Like he's like he's actually big. He's built. He has the weight for it. He has the drive for it. He's a wrestler, so like he's fine doing art, and he's now flashing a light in my eyes. Unfettered light, just uncovered, just a light bulb straight in the pupils.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm trying to spill my heart out here, and you're just ruining it.
I apologize.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm on, It's really just all on me to, like, figure this out, I guess that's why when I mentioned the videos earlier, like, just, like, I kind of felt like I need to, like, find some way to do this, because I had no idea. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, see, what I was writing before, like, when I was in 8th grade, just writing, for the sake of writing, because I had a cool idea, I missed that, like, ability to just, like, not care, kind of. And just like a way of like I'm just writing because I want things. And now with my writing is like I'm super like afraid of mistakes now. And like I just like I was like if you listen to my last podcast, my 5th one, I was super depressed after my last thing, mostly because people told me about like how my characters sound like me, basically like my narration.
Well, that's
and I was like super
perfectly fine. You write
I know
whatever you want.
They said that. They said like this sounds a lot like you. Like they know me. Like, that sounds a lot like you, your narration, your style. And, like, I was super, like, worried about it. Like, oh, God, I'm going to be, like, a parody of myself. Like, they said, like, no, it's just an observation. Like, it's okay, no one's really going to know you. Like, if you produce multiple works and, that's just your style. Like, like, Edgar Wright or something like that. But I didn't think about it, like, at that or, like, even yesterday when I did the podcast. I was thinking just, like, when I did the podcast, I was thinking, like, just, man, I'm trapped in a box of, like, myself. And it was just in a weird cycle of, like, self-loathing, because it was just, like, it's just going to be me. Like, I have nothing else to give. But then I thought about it more, and then I realized, like, I am something I can give to the world, because no one's like me that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's kind of how I got registered in it. But, yeah, that's, like, my problem right now is, like, after getting, my big critique of the work, first chapter, realizing, like, all the mistakes, and I see every one of them. I gotta realize, like, how am I gonna continue on, without making those mistakes in the future and correcting the ones that I've had. And that's, like, kind of my struggle right now. You don't really have anyone viewing your stuff, do you? Like, many people, it's just you right now?
Purposely. Purposely myself, because I don't want to have the pressure of other people, like, expecting things from me and watching over me, because it gives me, like, it just calms. It's just calming. And it's hard. I don't know. I'm not good at putting things into words, but it's just it's easier to put out something you're really proud of instead of something other people want from you. Yeah, that's why I don't like I said earlier, I'm not really into like photography classes or film classes or anything, because they're teaching you how to please other people and not be proud of your own work.
Yeah, I guess my problem is that I want to eventually make a living off of writing. You're not concerned with that right now, are you? You're not worried about it at all. You're just like, this is just for me, right?
No, eventually, yeah, I do want to have a career. I just need to put something out that really just, boosts me.
You're proud of, like, something like just pure you before, like, commercialism.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So you're just, like, letting yourself enjoy, like, figuring out, like, okay, this is me and whatnot, and, like, just putting it out there.
I like the anonymity.
Yeah, like you're just like saying this is just for me, and like it's gonna be put out in the world when I want it.
Yeah, that's I think that's everybody should take that. I'm making this for me, but it's happening to, other people are gonna read it.
I guess I have my problem again is like since I'm so focused on like the future, because I never had like a financially stable life. Now it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But when before, like I was worried. So I guess just being raised up like that, my mother's main job, who like mostly supports us, like being in jeopardy sometimes. It's like I always feel like I was like future planning. Like I think I'll never let myself become a kid when I eventually like got to this level of maturity.
Yeah.
Like it was just a switch when me thinking now. It was like a progression over a year. It was basically just a switch in actual time. And like now, just thinking about like all future stuff, like even with my creative process, like I have like 3 books planned. I have a trilogy planned out in my head, and I only got just done finishing the first chapter. Like I think that's my problem.
No, that's a good thing to look.
Yeah, look forward, but like I don't know. I guess I'm like too worried. Can you stop messing around with noises?
Sorry, I have a problem with.
You need a fidget spinner.
No, like creatively, I have an issue with just like workforce, I guess, like work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me really long time to finish one thing. Not so much like a perfectionist, but more just being so, sometimes just being really unmotivated and thinking it's just not the right time to work on something. But I think I've been getting better. I've been working on a little something every day for like, an hour or two.
Actually, I'm doing that now because a part of being a writer is like I'm trying to learn myself discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to teach myself that by taking this creative writing class that's gonna force me to write something every 2 weeks, which I probably should be working on instead of this. But just something to work on every 2 weeks, and like also
all your dreams, man.
And like I have, like I said before, I'm writing schedule 1 hour every 2 days. I got to write for a solid hour every 2 days, and like I'm not counting revisions in that. So like my 1 hour 2 has to be new stuff, and like I also know I have to go back and revise old stuff. That's what I'm hoping to do, and like I just gotta realize and force myself to do that. And by that point, I hope eventually it's gonna click, and like it's like gonna be a muscle at this point. At one point, it's gonna become a muscle, and I can just hair trigger it. Because I've always like said before, I'm an unabashed ball of energy or creativity. I'm just too wild.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not like in a cool way, okay? And like, negative attitudes have always become like cool things now. Like, oh, he's so savage, when it used to be meant like this guy was a killer.
Yeah.
And then now, oh, he's so savage for like keeping a library book overdue. And like, oh, he's so savage. Oh, he took that pencil from the cup. Oh, so savage. And like, I'm so wild in a way of just like, there's just so many different things. I need to like learn how to focus in on something.
You get a wild brain.
Yeah, I'm scatterbrained.
Yeah. I forgot to mention another way. The Brockhampton group inspires me. It's just everything is DIY.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they recently signed to a label, everything is still do it yourself, and it tells me like it doesn't, I don't have to make the excuse of, I can't do this because I don't have enough money, because really if I was truly passionate about it, I could just go and do it with whatever I have.
Yeah, not worry how bad it would be, like, and from quality standpoint.
Yeah.
Because from yourself, like, this is something great. Like when teenagers in the 80s made their own Star Wars fan films.
Exactly.
Like crappy, fan effects and whatnot.
Sometimes, like that, I think about my dad and his friends in like freshman year of high school made like a kung fu movie in their backyard. Sometimes I'll watch that. It's just because it's funny, and also just because it's like the whole back to the DIY thing. Like, if I really wanted to do it, I could just do it.
Yeah. I guess I had a problem with that, because I was worried, with camera stuff, with my short film idea. Mm-hmm. And, like, I realized, like, I was, like, worried about that in the very early stages. Like, thinking, oh, I'm going to film this, like, who am I going to get actors and whatnot, like, because I want to direct it. Because, my image. I said this for other podcasts, worried about other people getting hands on stuff, in the future and whatnot. Yeah. Like, I want to be all, like, writer, director. And that's the title I want in the future.
Yeah.
But I talked to my English teacher at the time. Her name was Miss Rose, and she told me, like, don't worry about any of that. Just write the story.
Yeah.
And now, while I'm focusing on my novel for now, I realized like when I eventually go back to that that short film idea, I just gotta worry about writing the story, nothing else. Everything will figure it out itself. I just gotta write that story. And so yeah. Jesus Christ, that was 30 minutes of just pure.
Well, I still have things to say.
You have things to say, pure intensity, creativity. We're going back 35 minutes. You continue on this train of.
God, it
pure.
might have left my brain. Let me think for a second. Talk about something.
I want to talk about later on internet influence and how we see the internet now as because we're younger people. We have well. First,
I was about to give you advice.
What was you gonna give me advice?
I was gonna say, sorry to cut you off, but
no, it's fine. You've
like
done it several times now.
Sorry, like I said earlier, just how I just went and I got a $2 camera I take pictures on. You can just find the thrift store will have 8mm, 16mm cameras for film that you can just go in.
I think I'd rather film digitally, just for the sake of ease and not wanting to pay money to friggin' develop that crap.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's money and just purely just for kind of a look.
Mhm.
But there are I'm kind of sucker for film.
Yeah, old grainy looks and whatnot.
Yeah.
I also like that style and whatnot, but speaking
But film cinematography is all about looks.
Yeah.
So.
I guess, yeah, that's like your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Speaking of old media, internet.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I was mentioning before you have social media and whatnot. I don't really have any of that because I hate it. I actively despise it.
I think there are, I just think you can't avoid it. It's not a good or a bad thing. Yeah. It's just a part of life.
I know.
I have all social media, not just to
goof around in.
Which is perfectly fine, but it's just to put my photos out or just to discuss, or because it's so it's so a part of our lives. We just need to use it to what's the point in not having it? It's not. No one except for fucking baby boomers are gonna say get off that phone because it's rotting your brain.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm just an old soul. I think that's the problem with me. Mm-hmm. I understand the usefulness of it, and I want to. I say I want. I kind of need if I want to get this off the ground at all. Make an Instagram or something like that. Or probably Twitter is saying I'm a writer, but first of all, Twitter is the worst place ever on earth now.
Yeah, I kind of hate Twitter, but I use it because I just follow all my.
Your artist friends on that.
Yeah,
it's very great for that. I think I have to use it sparingly, but for Instagram something like that, I think it's just it's so vapid and encapsulating because I think I have a very addictive personality for certain things, and I end up scrolling through it for hours, just looking at nothing, and I did it. So I deleted it off my phone for a while, and then I got those email notifications oh you have new posts you missed, and I clicked on one of that, and for 3 days straight I was just looking back on it, and I caught myself saying this is so what am I doing? So I clicked off of it again and delete the link and whatnot, and I now mark those emails as spam. But I realized that it's just me being me and me just being a fogey and 16-year-old body.
Yeah.
I just gotta use it sparingly. I just gotta learn how to use it in moderation, and realize it's not all bad, and it's just I'm just not for it. I know that, but it's just a part of life now. As you said.
Yeah.
And I just gotta learn how to use it, and so I will eventually be introducing probably an Instagram because I find it, at least, even though it has some of the worst comedy I've ever seen before in life.
Well, it's all based on what you like and what you follow.
Well, yeah. If you like no thought, here's a girl with boobs comedy. Or, hey, I'm gonna go drop kick my granny into the canyon, and while I fall into a pit of cactuses, I'm Dan the Mean Man. If you want like that comedy, I guess is great for that.
Did that guy do that?
No, but he does other stupid stuff, and he's a real guy. Dan the Mean Man is the biggest idiot on YouTube. He's not YouTube, but he's just in life right now. Cause
yeah.
These self-torture things, and it's so bad. And I just see that I don't want to be involved in any of this. But like now I realize like okay, I can use it for good for me. I just can't look at nothing else.
Yeah,
I think that's what same approach I take for writing is like I know this is great. And I know there's bad stuff like YA novels in general right now.
yeah.
But I gotta like not look at it, just use it for my own good, and like peek my head out once in a time when I know something is good or interests me at the very least. So I think that's my approach to social media. I gotta take.
Yeah, well, I think it's good for you. Just for because Instagram artist culture and Twitter, they're like so different. Like people are, I feel like people are more serious on Instagram. Like that's their professional thing, and then they.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good just to follow people you're inspired by, and then follow people they're inspired by to just kind of have motivation and have people every day tweet telling you that you can do it and you can follow your dreams.
I think I'll get sick of that at some point.
Yeah, but it's when you need it, you need it. It's like let's say you have writer's block and somebody just tweets this nice inspirational thing and you're like, wow, I can.
But I think for writer's block, with that example, you kind of like you just gotta. I'm very into, like I push a lot of things onto myself, both good and bad ways.
Yeah.
And so it's like if I have writer's block, it's like part of it being a writer is just like forcing yourself to work through it. Like I said before, just brute forcing a way into understanding something, very caveman-esque. Hit the rock on the stone until it makes a fire again.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's kind of weird. How that's just kind of me.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of like just for Twitter, I guess because I'm a writer. I'm a writer in quotation marks. And I have random thoughts all the time. It'd be like it would be cool for me. You want to tweet something out funny. Like I probably have a funny tweet once in a while. But then, like, just the entire environment is, like, so toxic and, like, is the worst place on earth. I feel like the only good people using, like, Twitter are, like, porn artists. Like, they artists in general are just great on Twitter. Like, it's great publicity for that. But anything else is, like, pure AIDS.
I think more people are on Twitter than any other.
Yeah, 'cause it's so easy just to dump out nothingness.
Facebook, I don't bother with Facebook.
Yeah, no, down. Facebook is dying.
I can't get hip with Facebook.
Eventually, Mark Zuckerberg will be revealed as a lizard finally, and Facebook will be put down as a way to incubate reptile eggs into the Earth's population.
Oh, I just remembered what I was gonna. What another one of my issues was. I'm not very open about whatever I'm doing ever.
Really, you don't say.
Even with, people who have connections or those people's connections, I'll just be like, I'm working on something, So I can, if my teacher's like, what do you want to be, and maybe he knows like
he's like, hey, I have a guy in a photography school, or like, hey, I know this like one guy, who takes portfolios.
I can just be like, I don't know, I'm not sure what I want to do yet,
Even though they have a very clear idea of what you want to do.
Yeah, just because I'm just embarrassed that people will shut me down. I guess that's kind of hypocritical, but it's just me saying like, don't be like that,
Yeah, I think I was opposite. Like I knew from like I've been told from other adults who have told us like I know what I want to do. Like I want to be a writer and I want to write novels mainly, or like something along with that writing. And like even in my college, like I want to have a marketing degree probably just fall back because I need a real job if writing does take off. I'll have like a minor in writing or something like that. Something like English related, and like probably my club experience, my college life. I mean, will probably be dominated by like a club that like maybe theater. I'm the writer, or like film like study club, something like that. Something extracurricular that I can like find. I can like build myself on while I'm doing college. Because I do want to do to college. Like even if I have like a best-selling book right out of high school, as unlikely as that is, I still want to go to college. It's just like a part of life that I feel like I need to experience, kind of. Like it'll be my first like baby steps into like adulthood. As I put myself already on much of my own independent like thought, at least thought-wise. So doing it like physically is like probably gonna be a good experience for me, and like I know I'm probably gonna need it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. But I don't know what I'm gonna do after high school. To be honest, I'm not sure yet.
You're not sure if you want to go to college or not?
Yeah, Oh, I mean, we'll just see where life takes me if I, you know, what I think and.
You very much like go with the flow, kind of like I'm just gonna do my thing. It can't close all the way. He's fucking on my calculator now. It doesn't close all the way. I tried.
It doesn't open either.
It does open. You just gotta try harder. There it goes.
Wow.
Okay, so while baby Luke goes play with his binky, I'm gonna discuss real boy things.
They closed all the way.
Oh you do it upside down. Oh, that makes much more sense. Oh, thank you, Luke.
No problem, pal.
Your freaking ADHD has finally come in handy.
Who knows? I have something.
You definitely have ADHD. If you do not have ADHD or something, you are just.
I don't think it would be I don't think it would be hyperactivity. I think it would just be A double D.
Well, you also touch everything, so it's probably why it's ADHD.
Yeah, but another way, Kevin Abstract and Tyler inspire me is just they're good directors. They're amazing directors.
Like they have clear visions.
Yeah.
You can see.
They know exactly what they want to do and how many things they want to do, and it makes me feel good about myself.
Do you want to become a director? Because that involves like working with other people, and I don't know if like you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that because I get lonely very easily. I could be with a person very often, and then I'll just leave, and then I'll get like, wow,
You know, woe is me. I'm lonely now.
Yeah.
You probably don't like me.
Exactly.
Is that what's gonna happen? You're gonna walk. My father's probably gonna drive you home. You're gonna be like, oh man, Brian doesn't actually like me. He probably thinks I'm a bitch.
No, more just like, damn, like I'm by myself now.
No. So sad.
Yeah.
And we're back, and yeah, that's basically just inspiration and whatnot, directing. Cause I guess I have the same sort of problem. Well, not problem, just weird thought process of working with other people. Because I think I would make a good director. I just haven't had the chance to, because I'm not a good social person. Like I'm very interesting to know. Like even in my like group of 8 in my creative writing class who like normally real people because they're writers. There's a good chance that they have like something wrong with them.
Yeah.
I'm not judging anyone. I have something wrong with me too, clearly. But even then, in that like small group, I'm always like I'm the oddball out.
Yeah.
Like it's very clear that I'm always the most outspoken, one with the wildest ideas. It's just because of who I am, and like it's kind of weird thinking like I could direct people, and that kind of scares me in a way. Like
I mean, I could see that. Yeah.
I guess I've never had a lot of friends, and like it's just weird to think like I'm gonna be directing this person, like to show how to do a right thing, and like I don't think I like have the respect needed to do that, or I believe that anyone will actually like even want to work with me. And like I guess that my charisma, if you can call it that, will probably serve me well, and like think like okay, I'll follow this guy. He has clearly cool ideas. Even then, I'm kind of worried about that.
Well, I mean, if you, let's say you do become like a film director or something, and you hire actors, it's their job to, to follow you.
Yeah, I guess, but like, even then, like, just student-wise of like actually learning, just like, learning the craft.
No, yeah.
Like, I guess, like, I have to only have like other dedicated people, and like I even then have to at that point I have to override their probably already alpha personalities and whatnot. Like if I have my always thought of like how to record or like how to make my own short film would be like I would put out like a poster and like have a table. It's like if you're interested in writing, like go to like the theater and drama club kids and be like, hey, I got these guys there, and like then they look up to me and like I don't know what happens then. Like even if they would follow me, if I'm even capable of leading,
you have to. You have to act like you know what you're doing and you are determined and confident. So even if you don't act that way, these people are going to be iffy or they're going to be nervous.
There's no doubt I would be like confident in my idea. I just think like I'm just worried like if my own obtuse way of doing it, where it's very much like crapshoot as we go.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, people would actually follow. I don't know. It's kind of weirds me out thinking about, like, my future if I ever direct something. It kind of just weirds me out. It's, like, not a real concern, but, like, it's just something weird to think about. Like, how would, I don't know how to say it. It's just a weird thought I have, like, occasionally when I'm in the dead of night, still awake.
Yeah. I've said like 40,000 times probably this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, uh, do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't think we have to, really. I mean, you wanted to cut it short? Most of these have been coming, like, in 50-minute marks, so I think...
What's your favorite shoe?
My favorite shoe?
What's your favorite shoe you've ever worn in your life?
My favorite shoe?
Yeah.
Would be Mother Vagina. And on that note, this has been the Dabble and Babble podcast, and we will be signing off.